What is going on, YouTube? Dirty Harry back here with TNA 2013 Lockdown review. Okay, let me start by saying I did not watch the full show. I skipped like the first few matches because I really didn't give a fuck about them. I started watching it up to the Knockouts title match and so on. The rest of the matches were easily predictable any goddamn way. So I don't think you guys are missing anything if I don't talk about the Robbies or the Joseph Park match and whatnot. Anyway, let me start by saying kudos to the San Antonio crowd. They earned their stripes tonight. That crowd was hype. They were about that life the entire night. They didn't hold anything back, so they had a really good crowd at this show tonight. Um, Knockouts title match thoughts. So Velvet's the champ, right? So why am I leaving the match thinking only about Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell? Well, why are we only talking about them? We're not talking about our champion. We're talking about the challenger that got screwed and the referee that screwed her. And this is my problem with Velvet being champion, or anyone in Velvet's situation being a champion. And that's if the wrestler cannot perform, has never ever given us a 5-star classic match, then why are they holding the championship? The championship should never be used as a prop to say, hey, he or she is important. You know, it shouldn't, I don't think it should be used that way. That person needs to be a cornerstone piece of your product, you know, giving us 5-star classic matches, and in the terms of a female competitor, I get Velvet Sky is the pinup poster girl for TNA right now. You're putting her on every poster, you're promoting her, but at the same time, if she can't wrestle, then why is she in the title picture? Why give her that responsibility? You're supposed to be able to go out there and give us 5-star matches, not go out there, get clothesline 3, 4 times, moan a little bit, do 5 moves of doom, and then your finisher. That's not getting her over with me or fans that just there's some wrestlers out there who are you're just not gonna like them, but those wrestlers can still earn your respect by giving you something to talk about hours and hours later. I don't get that from Velvet. I don't. When Gail first started, I did not like Gail when she first started, but she started giving, she started delivering great matches that I could talk to the boys about. Hey, you see that shit, man? And then look at me now. I'm a huge Gail fan. Oh man. All I'm saying is, give us some classic matches, Velvet. Don't just give us a head scissors and then some clotheslines and then what's that shit she's got called in your face? The sit out face buster she does. Give us more than that. The match, did anyone really care about it at the end of the day? All we get is the Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell beef is official. You know, that's all this match did. It didn't enhance Velvet as the champion. It didn't do anything except open up this beef between Gail and Taryn Terrell, which I hope they don't make too long. Keep the focus of the knockouts on the championship. It should always be about the championship and nothing else. If you want to make it about a referee, if you want to make it about hairspray, if you want to make it about anything, you put the title in there at some point. Make them talk about the title. Make the title a title match, the consequence, something. Just don't stray too far from the title. That's all I'm begging TNA to do. Tag titles match was a very, very great match. Easily the match of the night. Probably the only match at the end of the night that anyone's gonna talk about after the show. Um, I don't think anyone that watched this match will walk away from it with a bad thing to say about anyone in it. You can argue Chavo did the Three Amigos. Well, his family blood is on that damn move, so he can do it as much as he fucking wants to do it. Hernandez, once again, goddamn. Hernandez is making it impossible for probably even Fool Killer to hate him at this point. Because that double backbreaker was pretty boss. Great match. Watch it if you ever get a chance. It was a really good tag title match. Wet Dream Team retained, but everyone was solid in this match. Easily the best match of the night. Then after that, we get what was it, Briscoe and Angle. I mean, a lot of people will say that it was a foregone conclusion that Briscoe was going to get his ass whipped inside and outside this cage. The end result, I basically called Briscoe winning, But the way they executed the victory was what made me applaud them. With D'Lo coming out and giving Wes Briscoe the assist in the win, you know. And a lot of people say, well, that's predictable. But if you didn't watch the show, there's some stuff that's predictable, but depending on how it's executed, you'll be okay with it. And I was okay with how they executed with, referee out, Angle beat he beat Briscoe twice before he got out the cage, closed the door, stood there like, and then he got jumped. So I was okay with how they executed that. I was actually entertained by this match, for the most part. A lot more entertaining than most of the matches on the card that I watched that night, which was really surprising to me. The Lethal Lockdown match. Now this is my first time watching a Lethal Lockdown match. I didn't watch Lockdown last year, or the year before. I never thought it was worth the cash to even watch Lockdowns. So let me start by suggesting a rule change. Elimination needs to be able to happen at any time. I know it's not an elimination match, but maybe TNA can explore that because it's like you start the match off with two guys, and then you have to wait for the whole ring to fill up with everybody before the match can even start, to be honest. So, for the most part, you spend 10, 15 minutes. If you're a viewer, you're just killing time for 10, 15 minutes. And within that 10 to 15 minutes, I thought of a lot of things I could be doing. I could have went and had sex, got some beer, popped 10 bags of popcorn, made a sandwich, ran to the store, took out the trash, all that stuff. You could have done so much stuff in 10, 15 minutes. You could play a game of SOCOM in 10, 15 minutes. So just make it so that elimination or victory can happen at any time is all I'm suggesting. I thought Garrett Bischoff was half dead after they gave him that Tower of Doom off the steel cage. But Aces and Eights take the L once again. Not surprising, right? Um, they were made out to look like garbage in this match. They really were. You saw them. They only were winning when they had a numbers game, and then once it evened up, they basically got owned, which kind of fits the bill for how things have happened in the last 10 months anyway throughout Impact. So it just keeps showing. I mean, at this point, I went like, man, TNA just has no idea what they're doing with these guys. You know, they should have won tonight. They should have just did a clean sweep across the entire card, but whatever. Next, we get the World Heavyweight Title match: Hardy versus Bully. This match was so-so, to be honest. If you watch the Bully versus Jeff Hardy match over the years, whether it was their tag title matches or even their Bound for Glory series match a few months back, you probably were a little disappointed by this match, because it felt like from the moment they got in there that they were really just treading water until the big moment of the match came. I didn't get to see, you know, like I literally went 1 2 minutes into the match and I started playing my PlayStation. I started playing my PlayStation and watching the clock. Like, okay, something's gonna happen within this time. And then the Aces and Eights come out, put the PlayStation on pause, start watching again. They tease Bully, but then Bully turns over and helps Jeff clear the ring of the Aces and Eights. Okay, and then we get Hulk Hogan and Brooke Hogan. They come out to cheer Bully Ray on. And then the Aces and Eights, the whole squad come out. Devon gets in the ring, gives Bully Ray a hammer. Bully hits Jeff Hardy in the back of the head with it and wins the world title, completing his turn as the leader and president of the Aces and Eights. Yeah, I know, right? I should be more excited, more thrilled about it. But it's like we saw this turn coming from, what, 2, 3 months ago. Ever since the wedding, people called this shit. The only thing that is different from what people called was that Brooke's not in on it, as far as we know so far. Brooke was devastated, and Bully Ray went back to being the Bully Ray we know and love at this moment, and that's the only thing that I liked about this whole turn segment that they did. Bully Ray was an asshole again, and I was like, yes, yes, he's an asshole again. This is the real Bully Ray, yes. And I kind of laughed when Bully Ray went, "I fooled you" to the crowd, and we're like, "No, you didn't, man. I know you use the internet, man." We've all been calling this shit for the last what 6 months now that Bully's gonna be in on it. He's gonna be the leader. But at the same time, I mean, it wasn't a badly executed turn, but at the same time, my only qualm with this turn is that Bully just won the world title. And at the end of the night, you don't leave saying Bully Ray's the world champion. You leave saying, "Hey, Bully's with aces and eights." I already knew that, man. I don't feel there was enough emphasis on the fact that he's champion. Now, Bully Ray was not at fault on this. I honestly don't think Bully Ray can do any wrong at this point because you saw him get up. "I'm the world fucking champion" at the end and all this shit. "I'm the president and eights and I'm the world champion." He basically saved the segment basically because it's like they just hit Hardy in the back of the head and stole the title from him, man. And it's like once they hit Hardy and that was it. You could have just Jeff Hardy could have vanished and no one would have known it. Man. Bully did what he needed to do. You know, it became the segment as a whole. The closer to the show became more about the aces and eights instead of the world title. But at the end of the day, it's like I guess it depends on how you receive it. If you're a viewer and you go, "Oh my God," all this bullshit, and then that's what you take away from. That's what you take away from it. But I just felt that the world title being in the aces and eights and Bully Ray's hands should have been more of the focus. Personally, I just think they could have presented it a little bit better. Um, and I think it should have been more of a deal of Bully Ray that he had the title. But at the same time, he's a heel. He had to be an asshole. He did everything he needed to do right. In conclusion, Lockdown had only one match that's worth talking about, which was the tag title match. The ending to Lockdown, the overall show was very predictable. We called it 6 months ago. The booking was okay. I didn't mind the end results of the matches on paper. I just felt that the knockout title match could have been better. The world title match could have been better. Um, oh man. In conclusion, also, was this show worth paying for? No, no, it wasn't. You know, it's just there was only one match that I walked away with like, wow. The rest of the matches were like, okay. I didn't mind the Angle and West Briscoe match, which was probably the biggest surprise of the night for me. But my MVP of the night is gonna probably go to well, I'm gonna make him an honorable mention for MVP of the night. I know we all hate this bastard, but you gotta give credit where credit's due. Honorable mention of the night, Garrett Bischoff. I'm dead serious, y'all. If you watched all of Lockdown, Garrett Bischoff. I thought he was dead after that Tower of Doom. He was just all over the place the entire show. He must have took 10 ass whippings in one night, you know, and took a lot of nasty moves on a lot of bumps tonight. And the crowd chanted, "You can't wrestle" at him, which really made me laugh. But oddly enough, the crowd cheered for Wes Briscoe at some point, which may or may not surprise you. I mean, in the end, Bully Ray. Nah, I can't give it to Bully, man, because that match was a bit so-so. I don't know. Let's give it to the tag team division. Give the whole tag team division the fucking MVP of the night because they saved the whole pay per view from being garbage. Man, now Fallout. What makes this pay per view so not watchable, so not worth the money? No consequences to anything. You know, you look at the lethal lockdown that they hyped more than anything, and you look at so if Sting and them lost, what's gonna happen? Nothing. Faces and Eights lost, what's gonna happen? Nothing. There was no well, the losing team gets banned from Impact for the next 1 to 2 weeks. There was no stipulation. No one got hurt, no one got injured, no one got taken out. It's there's no consequence to even having this match. So why even have it? They need to take the 1,000th loss, and it's like losing don't mean shit to them, man. You know, that's a problem. Um, a big problem, really, because that's the match that got all the build, all the money, all the airtime was around this match, and nothing's gonna happen as a result of it. It doesn't matter who wins or loses the match. No one gets a title shot. No one gets lined up for something new. All we get is aces and eights lose. But at the end of the day, they come out 10, 20 minutes later, no one hurting. Everyone cool, everyone good to go to help Bully Ray celebrate the championship. Looking forward to Impact. I want to see what happens next before I really start bashing aces and eights again. Bully Ray being added to the stable is an addition that really does help them. So I guess at the end of the day, I'm on the fence with aces and eights again. I don't think they're totally worthless, but I don't think they're worth anything yet either. That's all I got. Lockdown, not worth the money. If you're just reading about it on the internet or watching, YouTubers give their thoughts on it, you didn't miss anything. But if you do get a chance to watch that tag team title match, I'd say, watch a little bit of it. It was pretty good. Everything else was a bit missable pay per view. Looking forward to see what they do with this Bully Ray turn that we all saw coming 6 months ago on Impact.